And a question that poses itself, of course, is how do we, us as a group, work towards ikhlas? Because it's a work in progress for every one of us. And it is possible to attain it. It's not out of reach. I tell you what is impossible. What is impossible is for a person's salvation to be hinged upon ikhlas, and then Allah makes it impossible to attain. Sometimes the way ikhlas is discussed, it makes you think, my days, I can never be a mukhlis. I can never be sincere. It's too hard. I say to you, no, that's impossible. Hold on a minute. Because we've just understood that safety on the Day of Judgment is pending upon ikhlas. So how can ikhlas be impossible? There's no safety without it. No, there are ways to get to ikhlas. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will pardon our inevitable shortcomings. And I will share with myself and then you a few pathways for those who wish to work on their ikhlas. The first of them, dear brothers and sisters, is remember the favor of Allah upon you. If you feel you have insincerity, if you feel you are showing off when reciting Quran, you fear that people are praising you for being a practicing Muslim and you're being praised and you just don't know, you're showing off maybe, remember the favor of Allah upon you. That will usually quieten the screams of showing off. Why? You say to yourself, who guided me to Islam? Who inspired me to worship Him? Why me from all others? Others who are far more intelligent than me, far smarter than me, better grades than me, better access to knowledge than me. How come Allah chose me to worship Him over others? How is it that I find it easy to stay away from sins that my neighbor is falling prey to every other day? That's the favor of Allah upon you. That's not your intelligence. That's Allah's favor. And He can pull it away at any moment. يَمُنُّونَ عَلَيْكَ أَنْ أَسْلَمُوا. Allah said they think it's a favor upon you, O Prophet, that they've become Muslims. قُلْ لَا تَمُنُّوا عَلَيَّ إِسْلَامَكُمْ. Say to them, it's not a favor upon me that you've become Muslims. بَلِ اللَّهُ يَمُنُّ عَلَيْكُمْ أَنْ هَدَاكُمْ لِلْإِيمَانِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Rather, it is Allah's favor upon you that He has guided you to faith if you are truthful. Remember, He chose you from the masses. This is a humbling reality. اللهم لولا أنت ما اهتدينا ولا تصدقنا ولا صلينا. As the Prophet ﷺ would say, if it wasn't for you, O Allah, we would not be guided, we would not give in charity, and we would not have prayed. This is number one. Remember Allah's favor upon you. Number two, remember the insignificance of people. Remember the insignificance of people. This helps you manage the screams and the demands of showing off. Who are people? What are people? For the sake of whom you are risking your hereafter, that you're trying to impress him or her or them. Who are people and what are people? Subhanallah al-Azim. Are they worth it? Look at man when he is hungry. How does he behave? Or when he is thirsty? Vulnerable. I show off for him. Look at man when he runs out of his house and he's not wearing, he's unclothed for one reason or another. I show off for him. Look at man how he behaves when he's ill. Or when he hasn't had matrimonial relations for X number of days, how some people behave. We show off for these weak beings. Who are people and what are people? Or when he becomes poor. Or when he becomes rich. When they love you, people, they praise you and they exaggerate. And when they hate you, they despise you, they swear at you, they exaggerate. These are the people we're trying to show off for. Who are people? And then when they die, look at that person that you intended their pleasure. Ya Allah. If you are unaware of his death, don't worry, the neighbors will tell you because of the stench of that corpse. And these are the people we want to show off for. Who are people? La ilaha illallah. Man is created from a despised fluid. Our origins is semen, a despised fluid, sperm. Yani, if you were to go out of your house and some of it is still on your clothes, you'd be so embarrassed if someone was to see it. Despised fluid, that's what you and I were made out of. What is there to show off about? And how are we intending to impress people? That's the origins of them. Kings and princes, presidents, despised fluid, ya habibi. Al-Muhallab, one of the governors of the Muslim provinces, was seen walking with arrogance. You know the strut, you know the billionaires walk. So a man called Mutarrif ibn Abdullah ibn Shikhir said to him, you don't walk like that. Allah doesn't like that type of walk. The man said to him, do you know who I am? He said, oh, I know exactly who you are. أولك نطفة مذرة وآخرك جيفة قذرة وأنت بين ذلك تحمل العذرة. You are the one who started off as a despised fluid semen, and you're going to end up as a rotten corpse, and between those two phases you carry all sorts of feces and excrement inside of your stomach. That's who you are. So the narrator said he stopped walking with arrogance after hearing that. SubhanAllah. So remember the favor of Allah upon you, step number one. Number two, remember the insignificance of people. It's not worth it, losing your akhirah over a man, even if he is your potential father-in-law. Number three, the third way is perhaps one of the most effective. Hide as many of your good deeds as you can. Keep them away from the eyes of man. أفضل دواء للرياء الإخفاء. The best antidote for riya, showing off, is ikhfa, hiding them. Hide them, hide your deeds. Our predecessors were so upset when people discovered something good that they did or were doing. Hide them, such that if you find yourself weeping in public, you think, Alhamdulillah, it's okay. I hope I'm not showing off because I've trained myself to do that by myself. But if you only ever weep in public, you only ever pray in public, you only ever remember Allah in public, but at home it's just binge Netflixing, then you got something to worry about. Here's a mentality. Assume that your public actions don't count. Extreme scenario, right? Assume your public acts of worship don't count on the day of judgment. It's only what you do in private. Then you start measuring what you do in public versus what you do in private. Oh my days, it's scary now. Right? And that's why when a man said to Hudayfa ibn Yaman, my hypocrite, did the Prophet ﷺ name me as one of the hypocrites? I know you have information of this, Hudayfa. Hudayfa said to him, أَتُصَلِّي إِذَا خَلَوْتَ وَتَسْتَغْفِرْ إِذَا أَذْنَبْتَ. Do you pray when you are alone? And do you ask Allah to forgive you when you commit a sin? The man said, yeah. Hudayfa said to him, اذهب فما جعلك الله منافقا. Go, my brother, Allah hasn't made you a hypocrite, alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar. Do you pray when you are alone? That's number what? Number three. Hide your deeds. Number four. Remember the consequences of showing off. We've spoke about it abundantly. It's a form of shirk, associating partners with Allah. Good deeds will not count on the day of judgment. Good deeds will diminish in size. Allah will remove ease from your life. Remember, man samma'a Allahu bihi, wa man ra'a Allahu bihi. Whoever does something to be seen by people, Allah will expose him. And whoever does something to be heard by people, Allah will expose him. It's a consequence. Remember the consequences of showing off. This will also quiet the demands that our nafs gives us to show off our deeds. This is number ish. Number five, stay away from fame if you can, brothers, sisters. Stay away from fame. I know that goes against everything we're told nowadays about make yourself known and believe in yourself. Go out and show them what you're made of. I know. No, I'm sorry, we subscribe to a different ethos. We don't like fame. And if it comes to us, it's a necessary evil and we try to manage it. We don't search for fame. ما صدق الله عبد أحب الشهرة. Ibrahim ibn Adham, he said, not true to Allah is a person who loves fame. Not true to Allah is a person who loves fame. Ibrahim ibn Adham, beautiful words. Ibrahim ibn Adham was a famous man. Once he came into a city and people heard that the great Imam Ibrahim ibn Adham has arrived and that he's now in this particular garden. So they went into the garden looking for Ibrahim ibn Adham and he was there. He doesn't want to be known. So they were like, where is Ibrahim ibn Adham? They're going around in circles. Where is Ibrahim ibn Adham? So he joined the crowd saying, where is Ibrahim ibn Adham? Where is Ibrahim ibn Adham? Yeah, they weren't into book signings and all that stuff. Yeah, with all due respect, running away from fame. Number six, dua. I'm going to teach you a dua, brothers and sisters. Try to learn this one if you can. Prophet ﷺ taught it to Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. Allahumma inni إني أعوذ بك أن أشرك بك وأنا أعلم وأستغفرك لما لا أعلم. Oh Allah, I ask you to protect me from associating partners with you whilst I know, and I ask you to forgive me for what I don't know. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana a'lam wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lam. Research it, memorize it. Lastly, remember, brothers and sisters, don't give up. Ikhlas isn't about removing insincerity from your heart forever and eliminating it. We can't do that, ya Habibi. It's impossible. Forget it. It's about managing it and realizing it's an ongoing struggle. It's a battle. That in of itself is a sign of sincerity, that you're scared of it. It bothers you. And that's why Al-Junayd, he said, الصادق يتقلب في اليوم 40 مرة. The one who is sincere, his heart changes around 40 times a day. Keeps changing intentions. والمرائي, but the show-off, تجده في حالة واحدة 40 سنة. But the show-off is in one state for 40 years. Did you get that? So the sincere one, he keeps changing 40 times a day. The insincere one, the show-off, he's in one type, he's in one state for 40 years. Doesn't care. Nothing to fight. It's just a show-off, he doesn't care. So don't give up. These are 7 things to think about, brothers and sisters, on the way to Ikhlas.